With the new expansion just being a little bit over 2 weeks away from releasing on February 1st, it's time to talk about some future-proof cards that you should definitely get your hands on before that new expansion actually hits. So let's go for it. First card we're gonna talk about is Moltres EX. So why is Moltres EX definitely 100% future-proof? That is because it does multiple jobs just insanely good. It has 140 HP for being a basic, and for just 1 fire energy it can accelerate an infinite amount of energy to your bench Pokemon. So it acts like a wall, and it is the energy accelerator for the fire archetype. That is gonna be impossible to beat, and therefore Moltres EX will always stay viable and always see play as long as that's allowed. And it's gonna be allowed basically forever. We do not need to think about a rotation happening yet, because we are just about to move into the second set. And yeah, a rotation is not gonna happen until we have like 5 or 6 sets. So Moltres EX, definitely get your hands on it at least 2 times before February 1st. And yeah, let's talk about 2 other cards together, and this is Gardevoir and Superior. So these 2 are also 100% future proof for the exact same reason as to why Moltres EX is future proof, and that is just they accelerate energy for their respective typing. Gardevoir does it for Psychic type and Superior does it for the Plant type. There will always be Pokemon that profit from this exact energy acceleration. There is never gonna be a better way to accelerate energy for the fire type, as Moltres EX already is, and the same thing goes for Gardevoir and Superior. Those will be forever the premier ways of accelerating energy for their respective types. Even if, let's say, there will be another way to accelerate energy for the Psychic type, that doesn't mean Gardevoir will not see play. It just means that there's more energy acceleration on top of Gardevoir, but Gardevoir will not be beaten by what it does. It's just too broken. There's no way they're gonna release a better way to accelerate energy for the Psychic type, right? It's just, trust me, 100% not gonna happen. It would be too broken. Yeah, Gardevoir is already giga busted, so it's gonna stay that way, guaranteed. And the same goes for Superior. There's no way they ever gonna release a way that is better for Grass type Pokemon's energy acceleration than just flat out doubling it. Right? This is unbeatable. This will stay viable until the end of time, and that's why you should definitely get your hands on the entire Gardevoir line and the entire Superior line 2 times before February 1st. Talking about energy acceleration and how busted it is, yeah, we also have to mention Misty, of course. You know everything about Misty at this point and how busted this card is. It's giga broken, just as all the other energy acceleration cards that we already talked about. So yeah, I'm 100% sure you already have at least 2 copies of Misty, but if you for some reason don't, make sure to get yourselves at least 2 copies of Misty. It's going to be key. You need to have 2 Misties before February 1st, so go for it. Yeah, with Misty out of the way, let's keep talking about some trainer cards. And yeah, it's definitely gonna be Professor's Research. I don't think I need to explain you why. This is already a key card. This is played 2 times in every single deck. It's a must-have. You cannot build a deck without Professor's Research. That is how broken it is, and I doubt that we get more cards that allow us to draw additional cards. But even if that would be the case, don't worry, Professor's Research is not gonna go anywhere. Anything else that's gonna be added that draws us cards will be added on top of Professor's Research. But yeah, this Professor's Research will be played 2 times in every single deck, even after the next expansion is fully released. 100% guaranteed. yeah, you already have 2 copies of this, you already played this 2 times, so yeah. And the same logic also applies to every single search engine that we have in this game. Yeah, there's not much, but we have Pokeball and we have Mythical Slap, and these 2 cards, they're gonna be just as Professor's Research, these 2 will also be 2-time staples in every single deck out there, even after the expansion. Of course, Mythical Snap is only played in Psychic decks, so in every single Psychic deck that is out there, it will have 2 Mythical Slaps and 2 Pokeballs guaranteed. There's no way around that, because these cards are just way too valuable. So yeah, you already have 2 copies of Pokeball, so make sure you also get 2 copies at least of Mythical Slap. They're gonna be completely busted as they are right now. So yeah, get them. Another trainer card that is always gonna stay viable, and it's gonna be a 2-time staple in every single plant deck that will ever exist, and that is Erika. There will never be a better way to heal your plant type Pokemon than Erika, so yeah, this is gonna be a staple, guaranteed, 100% future proof. Get Erika 2 times before February 1st. But there are more trainers, of course. Trainers are much more likely to stay viable forever than Pokemon are, and yeah, the simple reason are damage numbers, but yeah, more onto that later. So X-Speed and Leaf will forever stay viable as well, because Pokemon will always have retreat costs, and retreating your Pokemon at the right time is a very key mechanic in Pokemon TCG Pocket. Like, having free retreat cost is so valuable. Like, I don't know how to express how valuable it actually is. It's key. And yeah, you're gonna have, if you are able to have free retreat, it's insane amount of value that you just get out of it, because of how important retreating your Pokemon is in TCG Pocket, right? So one of these 2 cards will be played in every single deck moving forward. So get yourself 2 copies of both of these cards before February 1st. So those were all the cards that are astronomically high in their chance of staying viable. Like, they're pretty much guaranteed to stay viable. Some of them are 100%. So now, before we move into, let me call it, a dangerous territory, let me make an honorable mention real quick with Sabrina. Now, switching out your opponent's active Pokemon is very good, of course, but your opponent can choose which Pokemon he puts into the active next, and that is a mechanic that might actually get power grabbed. We might see better options than Sabrina to switch out the opponent's active Pokemon, if we even wanna do that still. So yeah, Sabrina is a huge maybe. If you ask me, for my personal opinion, I don't think we will play Sabrina moving forward, but there's a slight chance that we actually will play her. It depends on how much retreat cost the enemy Pokemon will have and what the basics look like. Yeah, it depends on a lot of stuff, but Sabrina might not see play anymore moving forward, but there is a chance, and just to be safe, you should have 2 copies of Sabrina ready. Okay, but now let's move on to what, let me call that dangerous territory. And that is dangerous territory because we now will talk about numbers, specifically numbers when it comes to sniping. Sniping is simply being able to deal damage to the enemy benched Pokemon, and we don't know how much HP the enemy basic Pokemon will have, how the numbers in general will look like, so sniping, don't get me wrong, will always be viable. It will always have a spot in the meta, but right now we cannot pinpoint to a specific card and say, hey, this sniper will guaranteed see play and be the premier sniper, or every archetype will have a sniper or something. That is all the stuff that we cannot tell right now, because we simply lack the information of how the numbers will turn out moving forward to the next expansion. We cannot know. All that we can say right now is that there will be snipers, there will be cards that deal damage to the enemy bench that will be viable. Of course, this will be forever a thing. But yeah, we cannot pinpoint to a card and say, this is gonna be 100% viable. And there are many reasons for it. As I already mentioned, we don't know how the numbers will turn out. Like, how much damage will our sniper actually have to deal to be able to kill, right? You know, to be able to guarantee yourself a point, or maybe even two if this is an EX. So yeah, we're gonna wait out and see the HPs and how much damage we deal. Will this be a matter where everything gets one shot, or yada yada, you know, you get the point. Maybe we even get new snipers that are gonna be better than what we have right now, or stage 1 snipers will fall out of favor. We simply don't know. Again, there will be snipers that are gonna be viable, they will be meta, they will see play. That is guaranteed, but we don't know which one. So yeah, there's not a card that I can tell you, hey, get 2 copies of this specific card because it's gonna be good. No, we don't know. So yeah, let's move on to another category. Actually, one more thing before we actually move on, I almost forgot about Hitmonlee. So yeah, if there would be a sniper that I would tell you to definitely get 2 copies of, that is Hitmonlee. It's the best sniper in the game that we have, because yeah, he's a basic with 80 HP, and for just 1 energy he does 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That is absolutely fantastic, and that's the best sniper we have. Yes, I know Hitmonlee is kind of busted right now. That is mainly because of Gyarados, as Hitmonlee is able to snipe that Magikarp and one-shot it, so that's why Hitmonlee is actually right now kind of busted. But still, even without that Magikarp, without that Gyarados deck, Hitmonlee is still the best sniper in the game. So if there would be one sniper that I would recommend to get 2 copies of before February 1st, that is definitely Hitmonlee. But now let's really move on and talk about Giovanni real quick. Now, more damage is always really good, right? There's no question about it. That is the case in every single game ever. More damage equals always good. But yeah, we don't know how the numbers will look like. How much value will this plus 10 damage actually have? It's never gonna be bad, but will Giovanni make the cut? Will this plus 10 damage be valuable enough to remove something else, or to not play something else instead of him? Will it be good enough? Will it make the cut in a lot of decks? I personally don't believe. I think we will have better options than Giovanni, but I might be wrong. You know, we don't know how the numbers will look like. 10 damage might be a blessing and every deck will play it. That is very possible. But as I said, if you want my personal prediction, I don't think Giovanni will make the cut anymore, but still be good. Just not, we won't see him as frequently as we do right now. Yeah, make no mistake though, definitely have 2 copies of Giovanni ready as we move on into the next expansion. And yeah, now let's move on to 4 cards specifically and talk about them in quick succession. So that's kind of a hot take, I'm aware of it, but I think Pikachu EX will still be viable even moving into the next expansion. The lightning type deck will not be centered around Pikachu EX, but I think a basic Pokemon with 120 HP that deals 90 damage for just 2 energy and has only one retreat cost, that is also key, will still be viable. It will not be the star and not be the core of the lightning type deck, but it will still be a viable option to slot into the new lightning type deck. Yeah, again, like 90 damage for 2 energy is pretty nuts. So the 120 HP and the fact that it's in EX, that might kick him out of the meta actually. But yeah, if you want my opinion, I think we won't move into a meta where double energy will be played. I think we will still only play one energy, be it like lightning or psychic, just one energy, not double energy decks. I don't think this will be a thing at all. And so, yeah, in lightning type decks, Pikachu EX will still be good. Again, not the star of the deck. It won't be a Pikachu EX deck, but he will be part of the new lightning type deck, whatever that might be, I think. Then, moving on to the Dene, I think for one energy, having the chance of paralysis, how are you gonna beat that, right? That's actually pretty good if you think about it. The only way to really beat that is, yeah, do 20 damage and have the chance of paralysis for one energy, or other basic lightning type Pokemon will be just much better. Like, we can completely get rid of the paralysis. That is very likely, but don't sleep on the Dene, and yeah, definitely have 2 copies of it ready for the next for the next expansion. If you don't already have 2 Denes, you should already have 2 Pikachu EXs. There's no question. There's no way you don't have 2 Pikachu EXs by now. So yeah, make sure you also have the Dene, because it might stay viable actually. And then yeah, we have Mew EX. That thing can act as a wall with Budding Expeditioner if you want that. And his attack genome hacking is so versatile. Like and it is colorless. That is also a very big thing. You only need colorless. You don't need a specific energy. It can be slotted into every single deck and be super versatile in that deck. It, of course, as with any card, it depends on what do the new Pokemon's attacks, what will they look like? How much energy investment will be in the meta? Will this be worth it to have an attack for 3 energy, because it will be then much cheaper? Will we get a double colorless energy maybe? Like, a lot of possibilities. But Mew is so versatile in what it does, and it can be slotted into every deck, that it is definitely worth mentioning here. And the chance that Mew EX will be viable is pretty high. So yeah, have 2 copies of it ready. And then there is this thing of having a wall. And if the best wall that we have in the game right now is Druddigon. And they're being able to deal damage back to your opponent for 0 energy investment, and having 100 HP, yeah, that's pretty good. That's the reason why he is the best wall that we actually have in the game, and he's not even an EX Pokemon. So beating that will be tough. It's possible, easily, but yeah, having a better wall than Druddigon, that would be pretty nuts. He can also be slotted into every deck, because his ability makes it so that, and his attack of course, makes it so that he will never attack. But the enemies hesitate to attack him, because if they attack him, they will take damage back. And that makes him such a fantastic wall. Beating that will not be easy. So make sure, just in case, to have 2 copies of Druddigon ready as we move on. And that's it, there we have it, we did it. We covered every single card that will either 100% stay viable or might stay viable. It's a pretty high likelihood that they will stay viable. So let's take a look at these cards one more time. Let's start off with taking a look at all the cards that are 100% guaranteed to still be viable even after the next expansion in one way or another. So Superior, guaranteed to stay viable. Every single plant deck out there will play this, guaranteed. Same for Gardevoir. That is the premier Psychic type Pokemon that every Psychic type deck out there will play, guaranteed. Moltres EX. Every meta will have a fire Pokemon that will need energy acceleration, and Moltres will be 100% the best way to accelerate energy. Not only that, it also acts as a wall, as a basic. It's extremely busted. Even it is right now, even played in decks that don't even really need energy acceleration with Arcanine and Mew together. So yeah, Moltres must have. Then we have Mythical Slap. Every single Psychic type deck out there will play 2 copies of this, 100% guaranteed, no question. Then we have another card that accelerates energy for their respective type with Misty. Giga busted, everyone knows it. Misty is not gonna go anywhere. Erika will always be the best way to heal your plant type Pokemon. Plant type Pokemon always have a huge amount of HP. Look at Executor EX, or every Executor in fact, or look at Venusaur and stuff. They love healing, and they will get healing through Erika, as there will never be a better option to heal your plant type Pokemon than Erika. Then we have, of course, the draw engine with Professor's Research. That is gonna stay the #1 premier draw engine in the game, and therefore it will be 100% guaranteed be played in every single deck 2 times, no matter what, just as it is right now. Same with Pokeball. There will very likely be no better cards that give you the option to search your deck for something specific, as Pokeball does with it searches out your basic Pokemon. That is so much value. You have to play it in every single deck 2 times, even moving forward. And then we have X-Speed or Leaf. You will play these cards, one of those cards, depending on your deck, 100% guaranteed. We already talked about it. Having your Pokemon have 0 retreat cost, or reducing that retreat cost even, is one of the best things that you can have in Pokemon TCG Pocket. So depending on your deck, you will play one of these 2 cards. So those are all the cards that I guarantee you to 100% they will see play, they will stay viable, and you need 2 copies of each and one of those cards. So there's that. Now let's move on to cards that are very likely to stay, but not 100% guaranteed. And those are these 4 cards. So again, if there's any card in this game, any Pokemon that evolves around dealing a lot of damage, then I think Pikachu and Gyarados have the highest chance to make it through the expansion and still stay viable. Pikachu, it deals 90 damage for just 2 energy, and that is a lot. That is just so fast. I don't think this will be beat. The new Lightning type deck will not be based around Pikachu EX. It won't be a Pikachu EX deck anymore, but the new Lightning type deck that will be played will include a Pikachu EX. I think that is very likely, so that's why it's here. And then, of course, Gyarados EX. I didn't talk about Gyarados EX yet on purpose, so that people that actually watch the entire video have a little bonus. So of course we have to talk about Gyarados EX instead of Dedenne, right? That's obvious. So beating a stage 1 that has 180 HP and does 140 damage, that will be quite rough. And Gyarados EX just joined the fray, and it kinda killed Starmie EX and somewhat killed Articuno EX as well. So to now release an expansion that makes Gyarados irrelevant, that would be kinda strange if you ask me. But you never know what these developers are up to. They already proved that they are highly incompetent, so everything is possible, right? just telling you a little bit of my thoughts. So yeah, killing Gyarados right now by introducing something better, that is, to me, very unlikely. That would be way too strange, you know? And yeah, Gyarados will not function as a slot-in either, just like with Pikachu EX. Pikachu EX can very well function as just a slot-in every Lightning type deck because it's so fast and cheap, a basic, you know, all that stuff. Gyarados is different though. If you build a deck that includes Gyarados EX, he's the star and he's the main, he's the core, and he will make use of that Misty. Misty will be used on Gyarados no matter what. You cannot slot in Gyarados into another water deck with another star because yeah, it needs just too much energy. If you focus your energy on something else, Gyarados will never attack. It will just be completely useless, right? And so I think if there is a deck right now that makes it, that survives the expansion, it will be Gyarados EX. I don't think Mewtwo will survive because there will not be enough things that Mewtwo actually one-shots, blah blah blah. You know, that's not the point. Maybe Psychic type will even completely die because the Dark type will be too strong, as they will introduce multiple strong EX Pokemon that are Dark type and they counter the Mewtwo. So yeah, I think Mewtwo is gone, but that's besides the point. So another card that is very very likely to stay viable, as we just talked about, is Mew EX. We just did go over every single point as to why that is, so yeah, let's not do that again. Same reason for Druddigon, that is the Premier Wall. To introduce a better wall than Druddigon would be kind of ridiculous, so Druddigon will definitely see play. It's also Dragon type, so they might introduce more Dragon types into the game and make it so that we can actually build a somewhat viable Dragon type deck. So yeah, Druddigon I think will survive the expansion as well. And yeah, now we have it. That was everything I wanted to talk about. Every single card I mentioned, get yourself 2 copies. And if you do that, you should be fine going into the next expansion. And that's about it. I hope that was informative and fun. If you like Pokemon TCG Pocket content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. I will keep covering this game until it goes offline. And yeah, I will keep making content for it. There's unfortunately not much to talk about. It's a very empty game. But yeah, I will come up with stuff that we can talk about, right? Every now and then. Right now it's very empty, it's a very dead game, there's nothing going on, there's nothing worth talking about. But you see, I came up with something interesting to talk about. So yeah, if you like that kinda stuff, then yeah, please consider leaving a follow. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and bye bye.